What's up, YouTube? It is the first video of 2026. Finally got YouTube up so I can give you guys some longer form videos on how I can actually do stuff and give you guys some education. So this is the exact method that I used to get into shape, obtain a physique like this, all while working 40 hours a week, not really restricting myself to any sort of extreme. I'm not going to waste any time here. We're going to get right into this, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I did. This method is so simple that I've literally done it twice, not by choice. It was because of a very unfortunate event, but most people or most coaches don't really know what it's like to restart. A lot of them will forget. They'll get pretty out of touch with what it's like to start from the beginning, or maybe you're not completely new, but maybe you're just getting back into things. So some background on me and why I had to do this twice is I tore my pec in 2023. That was after a long time of lifting. After that, I had lost about 28 pounds because I needed to get surgery and I couldn't go to the gym until July of 2024, the next year. And the shocking part, or the not so shocking part, is that this method worked both times. It's super simple. That's why it's called Simple Six Pack. It is not really that complicated. And I did all of this while working a 9 to 5 as an aerospace engineer. So very demanding job, a lot of work. So if I can do it, I know for a fact that you can. So who's this program actually for? If you want to lose fat and or gain muscle while still having good food and not going into extremes on diet restriction. So you still want to go out occasionally, go to restaurants, travel, concerts and events, stuff like that. You don't necessarily have to be saying no to these things. If you want a physique to be proud of while still maintaining a social life, you're on a trip, on vacation, you want to be embarrassed to take off your shirt or something at the beach. I know that was me for a very long time. When I had first started lifting, I was like, I'm not taking my shit off. If you're sick and tired of stopping and starting again because you're not seeing progress, this will kind of get rid of that lack of direction for you, and just make your one job just execute. If you're embarrassed to wear certain things or clothes or dress a certain way just because it doesn't look right on your body, I know that was me. When I first started lifting, I wanted to wear certain kinds of clothes. I remember one specific thing that somebody had said to me. I was shopping with one of my friends and I looked at a shirt and I was like, oh, I like that shirt, and it was on like one of those fucking mannequins that was just like shredded out of their mind. Shit goes like, oh, the muscles don't come with it. And I was like, shit, dude, like they don't. So you shouldn't ever feel limited as to what you can't wear based off of what you look like, because that is something that is in your direct control. No, you don't need to have this take over your entire life, but still to be honest and blunt about things. You need to be consistent and stick to the structure that is come up with. I don't sugarcoat things. I want to tell you exactly how it is and what you need to hear to reach your goals. And who this is not for, this is not for extreme all or nothing people or bodybuilders. My coach is about balance and structuring things around your life in a way where you can still have fun and look good while doing it. If you need a coach for prep or something, go somewhere else. I've gone to that extreme before in dieting and it just fucking sucks. It's not fun. And it kind of ruins it for me. If you're somebody that wants that, still respect the fuck out of the sport, but go somewhere else. But with that being said, this isn't for people that just want to like feel good or just go to the gym completely casually. This is still for people that have goals, and they're sick of seeing the same shit in the mirror every single day and they finally want to make a change. I'm always going to give credit where credit's due, but I'm not just going to falsely encourage you and straight up lie to you if you're not making the progress that you should be. That's just like not how fitness works. And I'm not a gear coach, so if you're looking for a quick fix or like an overnight transformation, it's just not going to happen. I'm not going to prescribe you steroids or even peptides for that matter. These things are tools and they serve their purpose, but if you don't have the basic foundations in place, using these aren't really going to do anything for you. And if they do, you're just going to kind of create something that you're going to be unable to sustain if you come off those things, because you can't use them forever. And finally, if you expect results without consistency, you can still have balance, do fun things, but there needs to be consistency within the things that we set in place. Things need to be properly accounted for and planned for. You can't just go out, get fucked up all the time, and just like call it a cheat day or something because you feel like it. But you don't need to completely give this shit up to get in shape. Social media is always going to glorify extremes. You don't need to follow like the weirdo performative morning routines of the cookie cutter diets of what they eat in a day or some gimmicky high protein garbage recipe. Those things fucking suck, bro. People often confuse discipline with complete deprivation. Discipline is not sitting there starving yourself or cutting out entire food groups, skipping social events, or bringing your meal prep to the family Christmas, unless you actually are on prep. But if you're watching this, obviously you're not. However, most people are probably still going to fail just because they don't actually understand what balance means. All this stuff I previously mentioned, it can be true, but these things have a time and place and still require planning. Because I know you might be thinking, oh, I do this already, but I don't see results. I have like a plan or whatever. You're not planning correctly. You're lacking structure, or you're having these things way more often. That is what acceptable to make progress. So that's why I built a system that makes change sustainable and permanent. I'm an engineer inherently, so I build everything on systems. There's not a single thing that I don't account for. I've engineered pretty much everything on how to have a balanced lifestyle and achieve your fitness goals while still having fun. I literally look into absolutely everything to make sure it's accounted for. And this is the way that I do it. So I have three different stages right here. Decision making framework. This is called planned balance. Know what you're going to do without having to guess. I'll get into that more. All this stuff is going to be more explained. Two, a non-restrictive structure that produces results, but not having an unhealthy obsession that takes over your life. And then three, honest feedback and real-time adjustments. We're not going to go on autopilot here. Again, I'm not going to give you credit when it's not due. No coasting, no copy and paste stuff. And if something stops working, it'll be fixed. This is all done on a week-to-week basis with adjustments. So this is just a quick example of the past few years of me actually doing this twice. So 135 pounds in high school. Then we start lifting weights and we use this method to get to 172 and a half pounds. And then there's a middle photo here from like one of the first slides where I'm 200 pounds. And then I tear my pec, 172. And then we recomp to 182 pounds. So like I said, we're going to use this system for you to get in shape without giving up your entire life. People always say that you need to choose either one or the other, either lock in or you're a failure, crash out. It's like shit's just not true. You can have both. Again, you just need to systemize things, because if you're living chaotically with no system, then you're going to get weird results and you're just going to completely burn out. If you don't think I know what I'm talking about after seeing all my pictures, I promise you, I know. I was in a fraternity for 4 years in college, all 4 years. So there's definitely a lot of balance going on, you could say. So stage one, decision-making framework, plan balance. Let's get into it. The absolute bare minimum of being able to have the privilege of balance and making things work while getting into shape. You need to plan for these days that you're going to cheat, go out, social events, concerts, etc. Balance is a privilege, and it's earned through that hard work that you're putting in. Sustainable progress, it's going to require planning, not extreme restriction. And again, chaotic behavior creates chaotic results. So you need to identify these events, plan for them, your nights out, trips, concerts, dinners, etc. When you're going to indulge, and treat it as part of the system, not a failure. If you go out and you have a night out, as long as it's planned for, you have earned that, and you should not feel any sort of guilt that's going to send you into a downward spiral. I promise, if you were to look at the next 2 to 3 months of your life, you would totally be able to pick out all these different events that are coming up, and you can plan for those, and the outcome will be much more predictable once you know when they're coming. And if you don't have any sort of events coming up, schedule one. Like literally pick a day just to like indulge and do something, whether it's like a cheat meal or find a concert to go to, or just like go and grab some drinks with friends, because it'll make those nights so much more worth it and feel much more earned, and it'll feel like an actual reward versus like you just like crashing out and just drinking and getting fucked up or something. But saying that stuff, you need to stop going out every weekend and calling Friday an occasion, because Friday's not a fucking occasion, it's just a day of the week. You don't need to be saying yes to absolutely everything. I know if you're going to get FOMO, but I promise that shit will go away. Like once you start seeing the results within your physique, you're not even going to want to do that stuff. You still can, and I encourage you to do that, but every week is not really acceptable. So choose what you do and do not want to indulge in. When events are planned, progress becomes much more predictable. When they're not, everything becomes chaotic. And you can see in these pictures right here, I love going to raves. So the top picture is at Tahoe Live in Lake Tahoe, California. Bottom pictures at Gold Rush in Phoenix, Arizona. So I plan for these things and I still indulge, and you can still have a good time and look good while doing it. Stage two, non-restrictive structure that still produces results. This is going to be all of like your eating habits and stuff. So enjoyment is a non-negotiable for results and long-term sustainability. If you enjoy your diet, it isn't a diet. I make sure that I'm enjoying every single one of my meals that I'm eating, even while I'm cutting. So even while I'm losing weight, I'm still looking forward to the foods that I'm going to be eating. The most important part is finding stuff that you enjoy, because if you're not enjoying it, you will not stick to it, period, or you'll be extremely miserable and stressed out. Which is another huge contributor to your physique, is stress. And to do this, build your diet around foods that you actually enjoy. I personally take the 80-20 approach. So 80% like whole foods, ingredient foods, and then 20% like flexible or like quote processed stuff. And you should do this on purpose so your diet is more enjoyable. Most fast food meals even can be turned into actual healthy meals just by making them at home. Like there's a bunch of grease and shit that's made in like burgers if you go out to a restaurant or like McDonald's or something. But if you're making that at home, it can be turned into an actual healthy meal. And then also stop forcing foods into a diet just because they're quote clean. If you're not liking a certain food and just because it's clean you're including it in your diet, like it's gonna make you miserable. You're gonna hate your diet. And also stop labeling foods as good or bad. Food is just food. Some just might not serve the purpose for you to be eating at that time. And stop thinking that restriction is equal to discipline, because they're not. And any sort of fatigue that you're getting from your diet by that extreme restriction, this is going to fix that. We don't want you restarting diets anymore, because you're just going to build fatigue and then you're eventually just going to quit entirely. So sustainable results come from structure and not self-destruction and self-suffering. Stage 3, honest feedback and real-time adjustments. One of the most important things here of your diet structure. So the initial plan is simply a framework, not an absolute guarantee. Life is still going to happen. Stuff is still going to pop up. And it's all about how you respond and adjust to that adversity. But that's also kind of where I come in about responding to this stuff, is so you don't have to worry about that. I've gone through this for years. I've experienced pretty much everything that can possibly pop up, and I know how to handle it and keep you on track and still making progress. Your job, like your main job, is just going to execute and actually take the action, just the easiest possible thing. I'm always going to be honest with you and tell you what you should do and what you need to do to stay on track. The important thing here is that you communicate when these things do come up, because if you don't say anything, then I don't know how to adjust the plan and actually get you on track and keep you on track. So stay focused on action, not overthinking, and then trust and stick to the adjustments made. If you're constantly making adjustments, then things are going to stay chaotic. And what is also super important is to not panic when this stuff does come up, because it is going to come up. So stop assuming that one day off is going to ruin everything. It's not. Think of things on a weekly basis, and then stop guessing on how adjustments will affect your progress and lying to yourself about what's actually happening, just completely stressing yourself out. That's my job. I'll take care of it in the form of weekly check-ins, which what we're going to talk about in a second. But I want to show a quick example here of a real-time adjustment. So with one of my clients, you can see we're losing weight pretty steadily across these first 4 weeks. Each bullet point is a week. So when we get to week 4, 5, we see it kind of start to stall out. We make some quick adjustments to the diet plan. We drop his calories or add in a little bit of cardio, and there you go. It fixes the problem. You're back on track. It is not stalling out for weeks on end. It is simply a 1-week fix, and you're back down to losing weight. This is all done throughout Thanksgiving and Christmas. You can see on the dates down there, this was all while having all these different events coming up. You can still make progress while the holidays are going on. You don't need to not participate in your family dinners or family events because you're trying to make progress on your goals, because you still can. You don't need to eliminate this shit. Okay, so getting into weekly check-ins, these are going to be a scheduled call to review progress and performance, as well as different questions. I'm going to give you a set of questions that you're going to answer, and this is going to give me a better idea of how to adjust things if they're needed. Also, just an overall feel of how you're feeling, how things are going, strength, energy levels, sleep, all that stuff. That is all going to be covered within a weekly call. And again, on this call, and even just like periodically over text, I'm going to be giving you direct and honest feedback. We're going to cover your effort levels, consistency, execution. I'm going to be completely blunt and honest with you. I'm not going to bullshit you. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, because if you're not listening to what you need to hear, then you're not going to make any sort of progress. And if you don't want to hear what you need to hear, then go find a different coach, because I'm going to be focused on giving clear direction. We can still have balance. You can still go out and do these fun things. But again, if you're not listening to feedback and not staying consistent with what we do come up with, nothing's going to work. So I'm going to tell you what changes, why it changes, and what happens next. This is, again, this is the engineer in me. I'm going to give you absolutely everything. I love explaining things to you and helping you understand what is actually going on. And we got some examples right here of some clients that I have worked with in the past. Far left one right here is like a 3.5, 4 month transformation. We dropped him down from 220 pounds to 193 pounds. Again, using the simple 6-pack method. And again, all while going out, having fun, go grabbing drinks, going out to different events, family dinners, all that kind of stuff. The example on the right here is another one of my clients. This was over the course of a year. I'm not going to lie to you. This is like a 100-pound transformation, but you can still see that he lost a shit ton of fat, all while putting on muscle. His delts are super defined, biceps are coming in, abs are coming in, chest is popping. So it shows how much progress you actually can make while losing weight. You don't need to only be on a cut and not put on muscle. But now that you completely understand on how this process works, I'm going to give you two options here. One, you can take what you learned from this video, try it on your own. However, what might happen is what likely has already been happening if you're watching this video. You just waste a bunch of time trying to make educated or even uneducated guesses, and you're not really seeing any sort of progress. Or two, we can go with the simple six-pack method, and I will show you exactly how in 1 second here. So if you're completely sick of feeling like progress only happens when life is completely miserable and you're not enjoying any sort of diet, restarting every single time you get busy or kind of confused, sick of extreme dieting, inconsistent results, or chaotic outcomes, and you want to actually get in shape without giving up your life, follow a plan that continually adapts to your life, stop guessing and actually start seeing progress and predictable outcomes, then this method is 100% for you. So if you're ready to stop messing around and actually commit to your goals this year, I have a application down in the description below of a coaching application, as well as a free fitness consultation where you can schedule a call with me and we can kind of go over what things are going on with you and how we should proceed going forward. But yeah, that is the method that I've been using for the past 8 to 9 years now of lifting to maintain the physique that I have every single year. I appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video if you are still here, and hope everybody has a good 2026.